Hey guys, Dawn again. So yesterday we moved my youngest back into her dorms for her sophomore year, and I have to say it did go a lot smoother than freshman year. So we learned a lot, and I just kind of want to give you some information to help you guys when you have to go through it, or if you are going through it, things we learned. First of all, I do have to say that we planned it better. When we packed, she knew what she wanted and what she didn't need. The first year we went, she took so much stuff she didn't need. But she also had a single the first year, and this year she has a quad. So she has two on one side, her and another roommate, and then on the other side there'll be two other roommates, and it's connected by like a common area. That's where she has the fridge and where the other roommates are going to have a microwave and things in there. But the good thing is she couldn't take as much stuff, so that was nice. And so when we did pack her things, what we did is we used this big Ziploc, kind of like a Ziploc storage thing, but it was really, really big for hanging clothes, where you could hang the clothes on the hangers, and then you kind of have a big Ziploc thing, and then you can press out the air so it compresses it. We had three of those. She is majoring in voice and in opera, and so she has a lot of dresses she has to bring. So those were really good for the dresses. We could compress them and then her dressy clothing. And so we had that in there with the hangers. And then when we got to school, we were able to just plop that whole thing in her wardrobe. And so we didn't have to worry about unpacking that at all. She's just keeping it in the plastic until she actually needs it. So I would highly suggest that. I will put a link to the ones that we used. And then for her other clothes, we separated them by shirts, pants, pajamas, her underwear, things like that. We put those in lingerie bags so that they're kind of hidden, people can't see them. And then she could also use those lingerie bags to put them in when they're dirty and just throw the whole thing in the washing machine at school. So I highly suggest the lingerie bags for packing. Those will come in very useful. Some other tips she did this year that are made the organization easier. So she brought a big hamper, and in the hamper she is putting her laundry detergent and fabric softener in that big hamper to store it. And then so when she takes the whole hamper to the washing machines and dryers, which luckily it's on her same floor, so she doesn't have to go up or downstairs or elevator. She'll just have it in there on the bottom, and it's the perfect storage place. Her bed is up. It's not like a bunk bed, but it's up high. So underneath is her dresser, underneath her bed. And then we also got these plastic storage bins, or like plastic drawers. And what she is going to do is buy two more and then attach them, I think, with Ziplocs or something. So they're back to back. So she could spin them around to get to what she wants, and that'll be stored under her bed. Once she does that and I get a picture, I'll post about that too, which I thought was a really cool idea. And so we got there. She moved in early because she started a new job there on campus, and they had the people working on campus move in early. So we didn't have helpers like we did the first year. The first year, everyone was moving in at the same time. It was total chaos. And they had the student athletes helping move in, so they would take all the heavy stuff. They had dollies and things like that. This year we knew we did not have that, so I bought a cart, which I did a video all about that cart. I'll link to it, and that cart was so helpful. We had to do maybe 3 back and forth trips. I was carrying things in the cart, my husband was carrying the heavy things, and then my daughter was carrying some of her clothes. So it took us 3 back and forth before we got everything in, which the cart was so helpful. We were even able to put that refrigerator in the cart, which saved us because it was a long walk to get to her dorm room. It was an old dorm building, and we had to go in a certain area so we could use the ramp and not stairs. And then we had to walk across the whole building to get to one elevator, which was taking people down. She lives on the basement level, so we had to go down. And mind you, this is one elevator, and it was not very big. And there were other people moving in early as well. So at one point, we had to wait online for the elevator, which was kind of a pain. But whatever, we just knew it was going to take a while, so we prepared ourselves. Anyway, that cart was very, very helpful. One thing I just wanted to give you a heads up. If you do have a student who is going to be working on campus or working at all, have them bring their social security card with them. She got a job working on campus and was not informed, at least that's what she said, was not informed that she had to have her physical social security card with her. She's worked other jobs in the town before. They didn't need her actual physical social security card, so they were fine with her just filling out the forms and a copy of her social security card. But at school, they wanted her actual physical social security card to work, which she didn't bring. So today, my husband is driving back halfway, and she is driving back halfway. They're meeting, and he's bringing her her card and a few other things that she forgot, which wouldn't have been a big deal. But since he had to go bring her the card anyway, he brought that with her as well. So just have them keep their social security card with them. Good tip to know for the future. Now I get to get my house back in order. The plan was that she was going to clean up and get her rooms organized because we're listing the house for sale. We're going to start showing it before she comes back for winter break. And the plan was she would have her room all set and organized so that it looks decent. Well, that didn't happen. And the whole house is still in turmoil. It looks like a hurricane hit it. It looks like a tornado ran through it. So I am going to be cleaning that, cleaning up her room, organizing it, put the turmoil back in order, and I'm just going to take my time with it. I'm not going to stress myself out trying to get it done. I'm going to do the part today in the kitchen and the living room so I don't have to constantly see it, and then I'll just work slowly in her room and in the guest room, which has all of her stuff all over the place also. So wish me luck with that. The biggest tip I could give is to just plan that things are going to take longer than you think. Just make sure you get a lot of sleep the few nights before you go. Just prepare everyone that it's going to take longer than they think. Things are going to be a little more stressful than you think. Just go with it. I let her have the lead on what she wanted, and what I asked her, if she was not taking charge of things, I asked her, do you prefer this? Do you prefer this? I learned that I couldn't overload her and just say, what do you want? I'd have to give her different choices of what I thought was best, and she would choose one, or she would say, I don't know, and then I would just choose one. So I didn't stress her out asking her a lot of questions. And I didn't just fully take charge because I thought that would stress her out more. So I just kind of let her take the lead and just fill in the gaps where I could. If I did have to make decisions that I thought she should be making, I would make the decision, and then I would ask her if she's okay with that before I would do it. I'm a very take charge person, so I had to hold myself back, but for her personality, that is what works best with her. My husband did a great job. He gave us space. He just did what we asked him to do, which basically was carry heavy things, do target runs. We did a target order, and then we had him go pick it up, which worked perfectly because he was out of the way and we could do what we wanted. And so it worked out really, really well. It was much better than freshman year drop off. Freshman year was awful. My husband was stressed out and he wanted to get out of there fast, and she was stressed out. It was the first time she was moving into a dorm and leaving home, and we had to move the furniture a million times, and it was just a mess. We learned our lesson. This year was much smoother. We were well prepared. I still am just kind of recovering and getting things settled here. I had different emotions this time than last year, and definitely different emotions than when I dropped my first one off. And I will talk about that in another video. And that was way more emotional than this. I am fine right now. I'm not really sad. I'm just a little overwhelmed trying to get my house in order. And also, she's only 3 hours away, not even. She's 2.5 hours away. So she could come back home if needed, and she's not very far. So that's that. If you did do drop off this year for your first time or your second time, third, fourth, whatever it is, I would love to hear how it went for you. What were your tips to keep it going smoothly, and what would you suggest for next time? Thanks. Bye.